This is the Asset Protection Show. Expert strategies by attorney John Skabelund.
Welcome to the show dedicated to not only protecting your assets from lawsuits and creditors, but also protecting your legacy. After all, what we do isn't just for ourselves, but to create generational wealth. Bill Belichick is a great football coach, a Super Bowl winning football coach, but he has a losing game plan. Although it's titillating that he's dating someone 48 years younger than himself, the real issue is that he created LLCs that lacked privacy. Let me explain. In case you haven't been following the story, Belichick is a former NFL football coach and the new University of North Carolina football coach. He's been the center of attention because of his romantic relationship with Jordan Hudson. Belichick, who's 73 years old, has raised eyebrows by dating Hudson for the last 2 years because she's only 24 years old. Now, Belichick recently released a new book titled The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life in Football. On April 27th of this year, he met with CBS Sunday Morning for an interview to promote his book. During the interview, Belichick was asked how he and Hudson had met. But Hudson cut off that question stating, quote, "We're not talking about this," end quote. Since that interview, the media has placed Hudson and Belichick under a microscope, searching for any details into their relationship. Now, Belichick has attempted to downplay Hudson's involvement in his affairs, but the Washington Post broke news that Hudson is the manager of several companies. The Washington Post broke news that Hudson, in fact, is actually the manager of several companies with alleged ties to Belichick. It's not just the Washington Post either. The New Yorker has similarly run with the story as well as other media outlets. Now the question becomes, how did the Washington Post figure out that Hudson is the manager of these entities? Well, Massachusetts is where they chose to form their LLC, and Massachusetts does not have any privacy. Looking at Chapel Bill LLC, you clearly see Jordan Hudson as well as her personal address there listed as manager. Similarly with All BB Team LLC, and again with Coach Show LLC. Now you may wonder, how in the world did they figure out Bill Belichick is tied to these companies? Well, unfortunately, when they created Coach Show LLC, for example, Bill Belichick was listed in the original documentation. And that's the problem, is that they formed the LLCs improperly from the get-go. Once you've disclosed ownership, it's very difficult to hide ownership. That's the bigger issue in my opinion. Sadly, all of this could have been avoided if Belichick and Hudson had created their LLCs with privacy in mind. Now, keeping your assets from public disclosure is, of course, critical to asset protection. It can help you avoid from being sued in the first place. But there's other benefits to privacy, too. Celebrities like Belichick and Hudson would avoid the additional questions and scrutiny from evidence that is surfaced on publicly available documents. Lottery winners and other wealthy individuals don't want friends and family to know how wealthy they are or what assets they own. Professionals such as psychiatrists actually fear that their patients may learn where they actually live. It becomes a safety issue. It isn't just professionals that have this concern as well. I recently met with a client who's concerned about her abusive ex-spouse figuring out where she lives. So as she buys her new residence, privacy is paramount to make sure he can't find her. Now to summarize, you just don't show up at the Super Bowl and expect to win. It takes planning and preparation. Similarly, creating privacy and protecting assets requires planning and preparation too. Whatever your motivation for privacy, it's critical that you're working with an attorney who is specializing in asset protection. Estate planning and business lawyers who merely dabble in asset protection may not have the expertise to keep your assets private. Even if privacy is not a concern to you now, you never know when you'll need it. Once your business structure is established, as I demonstrated, it's difficult, if not impossible, to completely erase your prior public record of ownership and management. So there you have it. Don't fumble the ball. Create your LLCs properly by thinking ahead with privacy as well as asset protection.
You've been listening to the Asset Protection Show, expert strategies by attorney John Skabelund. For more information, go to assetprotectionshow.com.
This content is legal information only and not legal advice. Viewing this content does not create an attorney-client relationship. Mr. Skabelund is admitted to practice law in Arizona, and he may be reached at ultimateassetprotection.com.